So, hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Elevator, a talk show streamed live directly from Spain. Imagine responding, I am happy when someone asks you how you feel about your job. Is that even possible? So, my name is Åsa Rydhard. I'm an executive trainer and global speaker, and I'm on a mission to elevate experts into leaders on the business stage. This show is a platform for that. People who are or want to be elevators meet and share insights that will elevate us all. And today, I have the most interesting elevator with us. Her name is Jessica Breitenfeld. And as you all know, someone who is strong and has a huge message and want to make an impact to the world, they have a special flavor, and that is especially true with Jessica. So let's see what her tea tastes like.
Like honey.
Hello,
Mm,
Jessica.
lots of
there,
honey.
there you came. So I'm so happy to have you on this stream today, Jessica, because you are such an exciting person, and we we have known each other for so many years. So, and I learned to know you as an elevator, a true elevator, and that's why I wanted you to be on this show.
Thank
And
you.
yes, you are. So one interesting thing about you is that you've been awarded Best Female Speaker in Western Europe 2022 and
Mm,
London's second best speaker 21. How about that?
that were those were good years of learning how to be engaging and being recognized by the Brits. Oh, that was exciting for a little Canadian girl.
Well, I can imagine the feeling about that. No, but as Canadian, at least you speak very good English, right?
That's all we speak.
I was just competing in a Canadian, actually a Toronto-based competition,
Oh,
and as you can imagine, being a Swede is not always that easy. I need to
mm,
move around a little bit here because I'm sitting outside here in
mm,
Spain, and you
mm,
are also in Spain. So this is
mm.
it's a beautiful day. Hi, folks! Just if you're wondering what we're doing, it's a beautiful day. So, and then today you are actually calling yourself a team whisperer, and you teach us leaders to to leadership to professionals, right?
Yeah, I never whisper, but guiding the teams to having a psychological safe environment where ideas can come out, where people can lead in uncertainty. That's the whispering part, like encouraging them, guiding them, whipping them sometimes.
Yay, but Team Whisper, I find that an excellent name because I think it comes from an old movie, doesn't it? About
That's
a man who knew how to talk to horses, whispering
exactly.
secrets in their ears. And more than that, he actually, could actually not only talk to them, he could communicate with them and make them understand things and understood them.
Well, if you have good communication skills, you can definitely influence people. I wish I would just be automatic through my essence, but I guess I've studied NLP and Gestalt psychotherapy and Psych-K. I've studied a lot of things about how do you get heard, because I never really felt too heard, and I wanted to know, how do humans communicate? How do you get attention? How do you get love, as we all want love?
No?
So I guess I learned those, and now it's just natural to want to teach it to people as well.
Yes. Would it be too bold for you if I said that maybe you would teach professionals to become team whisperers?
Hmm. Huh. I haven't thought of it like that, but I love it. I love it. I love it. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, we are going today to talk about happiness at work because, 2 days ago there it was the World Happiness Day, and when I realized that this was going to happen this week, I said I need to have Jessica on my show because
Yeah.
I believe you know a thing or two about happiness.
Yeah. I've been chasing it my entire life, and I learned a couple of things. That it's not chaseable. Someone should have told me. If I would have listened, I would have known that before the chase. But
Oh,
the
it's not
answer is
chaseable.
get older.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Oh, because I was trying to chase it outside. You know the whole story of entitled "White Girl Goes to India to do a Eat, Pray, Eat," and finds out that who she is and what she loves and blah 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 blah. But you can do that at home on a meditation cushion if you connect with your body and find the happiness in the detachment of all the success and shiny things and all the things that we're supposed to have. So it's not out there ever, but we get confused, and I got confused, but not anymore. Now I know where happiness is.
Oh, I think so many people would like to hear about finding happiness, and that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I actually
At
talked
work
to
even.
at work even.
How
Imagine,
dare
imagine.
you?
How
That is so
dare we?
bold.
Should we do a distinction between having fun and having the feeling of happiness, perhaps?
And contentment and joy. Those are
And joy, yes.
all different words. So what is happiness at work for you then, if you want to define it for everyone?
Well, I'm not the native English speaker, so
Almost. You're Swedish. You're the second best speakers in the world of English.
but I think that many times I actually talked to an American the other week, and he pointed out from his point of view, and I think he was on something, that having fun doesn't necessarily mean that you are in a state of happiness or joy even. He thought it was more like coming from inside out. And having fun is just like you fall on your ass and you laugh.
I think alcohol is involved with having fun here. There's interesting. Well,
But
okay.
I also think, if I should say something more while you collect your thoughts, that having fun can be a way to open your doors to happiness, confinement, joy, or whatever. Because it teaches us that, it makes it easier for us. And I think we will start to talk about that, because I know that you are also a clown. Oh God, are we allowed to say that out loud? Because I know that many people think that to be serious, you should always be like very serious, and you're professional and you're serious, right?
Not in Spain.
Not in Spain, yeah.
No.
And I think that differs from culture to culture.
Mm.
And then some people think that that in certain circumstances in life, you should not be joking around at all because it's too serious. And you are not any clown. You are a hospital clown
Yes.
at times, because it's your passion project, perhaps, being a clown.
Yeah, it is not paid well. Yes, so it is my passion
No,
project.
and you teach others also to be hospital clowns. And I think that's so important. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because,
Well, in our world, we're with a lot of trainers and coaches, since we know that each other from the Toastmasters world, and we need to know how to engage well, right? You need to see if people are listening to you, and if they're not listening, you need to change tactic. You cannot tell, if you're a mother, you cannot tell your kid and they're ignoring you. You must find a way to bribe them, to scare them, to punish them. You must find a different tactic that gets you heard. And the art of clowning is exactly that. Nobody pays you, nobody gives you the right. Clowns almost like walk into a space and they adapt to the situation, and they have to grab the attention, but without being jerks. They're not like, I'm the boss around here. They need to interact, they need to smile, they need to listen, they need to feel, they need to laugh with you, they need to be with you in that moment. And clowns notice every micro movement of the audience because we're trained to adapt to it. So if a leader had that kind of attentiveness on their people, the people would feel seen and heard, and, if I dare say, loved in a professional way. And if people are seen and heard, they feel loved. And then when you feel loved and appreciated, you're happy. It's literally so simple. Why Tinder works, why Netflix works. We all want to be emotionally feeling good. And so we go for whatever brings that to us. And if you're able to copy a little bit what all the big companies do, if a leader's able to copy that a little bit, my God, your happiness would increase. Just see your people, listen to them, hear them. It's like psychology 101 that companies don't think about because it doesn't make you direct profit. But
Well, I think you are so right, because if you can make your people seen, that, if I feel that someone sees me and really responds to my situation, I feel a connection, and I feel so much more that I'm belonging to a place. And far too often I see managers, CEOs, whatever, who are going to talk to their team, that don't realize that they actually think that if they do not talk about the elephant in the room, so to say, and just pretend everything is fine, then it will be fine. But what happens is that they disconnect to the people in their organization, right?
Yeah, and we see this in couples. If you keep doing that, you end up 47 and a half in a midlife crisis, divorced because you didn't express and you didn't see people. You need to pay attention to what comes up now and adapt to it. If it's good or bad, you need to be able to see it, because nobody likes the person that's like the fake American. Everything's fine. I'm happy. Oh, I'm sure he's not having sex with his secretary. Oh, I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure he loves me. And then explosion, people quitting, all your talent leaving you. You must see, hear, and adapt in the moment and lead so that people see you leading. Ignoring is the way to therapy, really, which I'm a therapist, so call me.
Yeah, we will call you. But then, since I know that you work a lot as a clown with very sick children. So, and if you come into a room as a clown, feeling what's going on in the room, and I know there is so much going on in the room when a child is very sick. So, how do you see? How we tell us about the role of the clown in that situation.
A clown doesn't pay attention to the illness because a clown is there to follow joy and passion. Their joy and the participants' passion. A clown without an audience doesn't exist. So we enter the room and we don't say, oh, looks like you had an operation and your head is bleeding. No. Okay. We focus on the good, right? So we'd go in there and we'd say, that reminds me of this song. Or, oh, isn't your hair so lovely? Look at my puppet. Or, aren't your parents so lovely? They brought you chocolate. Here's my chocolate dance. We're always relating things to focus on the positive. And so it's a real shift in, I could anytime focus on the unfortunately part, but we choose and we train ourselves to focus on the fortunately. Fortunately, you have parents. Fortunately, you have beautiful hair. Fortunately, you have chocolate. Yeah? It's a shift from unfortunately to changing all your sentences to starting with fortunately. If you do that, you live through the eyes of a clown, always being in the present, looking for the pleasure in the moment. Even if it's a really terrible moment, you can still always find the shift, as we try and do, into something that is positive.
That's a very good advice. Do you think that this is something we could transfer into the workplace?
Sure. Wear your nose to work day on Fridays would be lovely. Well, my colleagues, we teach clowning to companies. Because once you learn how to be present with people and to adapt to their reactions, you become emotionally intelligent. You become empathetic and you give people time to speak and to be heard. People don't quit when they have these qualities. It's called psychological safety. Google found out with Project Aristotle, they found the two things that make teams thrive. It wasn't that they all liked the same Netflix show, that they have the same religion, that they all liked eating coconut curry for lunch. It was literally equal speaking time, hierarchy, bye-bye, and human empathy. It's literally the secret to happiness at work is the secret to healthy relationships. You cannot trust a boss who has no friends. He doesn't know, sorry, I said he, okay? He doesn't know how to maintain friendships. How can you create honest communication and psychological safety if you don't have relationship skills. So simply, you can teach people relationship skills, listening, being aware, empathy, asking the right questions. If you teach a team that, happiness increases tenfold. And it's simple. It's really basic psychology.
Yeah, but I'm happy also that you are not only saying like focus on the positive, because it's not always as easy as that. As that, I think
It's hard.
I need to acknowledge that, because sometimes things are not positive, but we can talk about that later, perhaps. I have some advice for that later, but to actually practice how to behave better and relationships, how to develop yourself in your relations, it's so important. And I know that you, just like me, we meet people who will say they have problems at work, and when we start talking about the things they need to develop, we also discover that they have the same problems privately.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Well, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. It's the thoughts that keep a man surviving or keep a man hopeless. And so it would make sense that if you are not able to reshift how you see a certain situation, you will have problems at work, at play, and in your relationships, because you don't have the mind power or the I don't want to say willpower, but the ability to control what your mind lets you think about. And so if you can't do that at work and find the positive, and if you can't find the positive, put down your boundaries and leave. If you're not able to do that, or collaborate well, or negotiate well, or if you don't train yourself in those skills or in your boundaries, you aren't doing that in your home life either, probably, because you lack it. So I would say I'd love to see the statistics. Stephen Carberon in my LinkedIn post this morning said the Gal poll found 15% of people are happy at work, and the rest, 85, I'm good at math, are not happy. Thus, I would love to see how many of those people have satisfaction in their personal relationships at home, and what the correlation is between skills and skills at home. It would be fascinating.
That would be fascinating. We need to see if there is any research done about that, but I'm not sure. But I do have colleagues in the entrepreneurial branch who says that if they see someone who has a lot of problems private, they avoid collaborating with them professionally.
Never trust a man or woman, a boss who cheats on their partner. You cannot trust someone who is untrustworthy. So yeah, probably true.
Yay. And that's why I sometimes tell people this when they say, oh, I'm going to this after work party, I can do whatever I want, can be as drunk as I want. And I say, just because it's after work, it doesn't mean you're not still at work, because people will, whatever you do will get, it will go into people's view on you and build that more. So be careful when you are who you are. And don't think that you can separate the different parts of your life, right? Just because at some point they will clash into each other, and we will see who you are, right?
You cannot hide yourself forever.
Yes. So you can look for the good things. I like to say that, well, if you want to be happy at work, maybe try to work with things that actually makes you happy. But that is not as easy, if you are not happy at work, what can you do? Can you be happy at work again? What do you say?
Can you be happy after being unhappy again? The question is, what is happiness? Okay, so if it's fulfillment or if it's contentment, my favorite job in the entire world is actually waitressing. Very few people would say that that's a job that they want to do. But if I find the value of why I love waitressing so much, I find that doing that, making people smile, bringing joy to people, interacting with them, joking with kids, flirting a little bit with the old grandpas, that interaction is essentially being a trainer. It's essentially being a professional speaker, essentially being a mother, a teacher, an entertainer on the street. Like all the jobs that I love in the world, I can find also in simple jobs that people don't respect very much. But because I identified the value that makes me happy, making
Mhm.
people happy, in a recession, I'm very happy to drop my ego and waitress. And I won't be much less happy. I probably would eat better than I am now. So if you can identify what made you happy in the past, and if you're missing that, are you
Mhm.
able to find it again with a shift in some responsibilities? Or is it all their fault that you're unhappy? Are you in the completely wrong job because you haven't been authentic about your skills?
Mhm.
That's a different situation. Then your boss is narcissistic and makes everyone's lives terrible. Then you cannot get happy at work
Mhm.
unless you are super strong-minded, but I suggest you leave.
Yeah.
Like, you have to run away from narcissistic people, and you have to put down boundaries with people that are toxic. If
Mhm.
you have to work with them 8 hours a day, it's pretty much a lose-lose situation. So you have to identify why you're unhappy and what value is missing, so you can make a real sound decision, not an American dream. I wish I was a TikTok influencer. That's not how you make decisions. You make them on values and understanding who you are. And if you don't know what your values are and you don't know who you are, you'll pretty much never be happy. So good luck.
Yeah, I think that this is exactly what I also discovered throughout my life. And when I founded the things I do today, it's actually built on my reflection over what is my thing.
My
What is it that I
thing.
do? So yeah, my thing. I don't.
What's your
The,
thing?
the red thread that actually ties everything I do together.
Mm.
Just like you said, whatever job I take, I tend to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I discover problems because I am a problem solver at heart. I discover problems and serve solutions to that, and I lift other people up because I very quickly see who is in the right spot, who is not in the right spot, and I lift them
Perfect.
up. Elevate. That's why I'm called the elevator. And the problem is, you see, is with this is that we are kind of a beautiful picture, and for me and you, it's easy to read other people's and see the picture, and we can, what it's made of, the colors, the tendencies, whatever. But if you are in the picture, it's hard to see yourself. Your own picture is hard because you are in the frame, right?
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
possible.
Well,
It
that's why
is.
we all have help. I don't know. Right
Yes.
now, I have 3 coaches. I have 2 mentors
Yeah.
every month because I can't see myself when I'm acting
Mm-hmm.
immaturely, which I did a couple weeks ago. I had a horrible week. The stars told me I should just hide in my room, and I didn't. And I had a lot of fights with a lot of people. I thought I was right. They thought
Mm-hmm.
they were right. I couldn't see myself. So I need the outside thing to see it. And if you don't know what your values are and what you care about, you hire someone to help you meta see you, right, on a bigger level, see who you are and what you're about. And then if you need to go to a micro level, you do some sitting silently
Mm-hmm.
and doing some introspection and some mindfulness. If you don't know what makes you happy, how can you complain that you're not happy at work? Obviously you're not.
Well, that's an interesting question, Jessica, because I written a thesis about hope.
Oh, beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I did, yeah. It's a very
Wow.
important subject, and one part of that paper was the discovery that you cannot suffer unless you have somewhere in yourself a deep held belief or notion of that something is wrong, and that is based off maybe an idea of that life should be something else, but you
Beautiful.
might need help to find it, but you already
Mm,
have that notion or idea
mm,
of how life should be to be a good
mm,
life.
mm,
That's why you're suffering, because if you didn't
mm.
have that, you wouldn't be suffering from how you are living your life right now.
I
Philosophy.
love it. Well, you have a contrast in your values and a
Yes.
contradiction in
Uh-huh.
what you think it should be and the way it is, and that will always fight. They say that
Yes.
happiness is congruency
Mm-hmm.
between thoughts and actions. Thus,
Yeah.
if you sell Coca-Cola and you think sugar is the devil,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or if you're a strong Buddhist and you sell alcohol, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot be valued filled because it goes against your values. So maybe something's happening at your company and you're just against it completely, and your boss goes against your values. They only care about profit, they don't care about
Mm-hmm.
human
Mm-hmm.
beings. you will not be able to get happy unless you come to peace with their actions and understand that their values are different than yours, and you will be the bigger one to adapt and find happiness despite them not adapting to your values. So you must be the bigger person in a place that your values aren't met. The ideal situation is you find a place where they have the values and you have the values and you can collaborate together. And if you can't do that in a big corporation that has values that are only profit driven, that's why most people are unhappy, because they're in a company that they do not believe at all in what they're selling, and they don't think that it's good for the environment, and they don't want their kids to have to live in a world where this thing exists. How can you be happy when every week, 40 hours, you dedicate yourself to something that is against your values and makes you angry? It's a huge problem in corporate America because very few companies care about anything that is good. Thus, 85% of people are unhappy because I'd say 85% of companies only care about profit. That's their main existence. So it's not that anyone's not positive. They're literally working in unhealthy, valueless companies, and they don't feel good. But there's not too many other places to go because everybody else wants those 15% jobs. So we need a whole shift if we expect people to be happy at work. Is it even possible? Values.
But I know one thing that is possible, Jessica. Because I meet so many leaders who tend to think that whining is not important. I should stop whining. I should stop whining. People should stop whining. But wait a minute. What we are actually saying here is that if you sit down and start listening deeply to that whining in yourself, in your team, or in your organization, you will discover things that is important to you. So negative emotions can be as much gold as the positive emotions.
Changes never come from a happy kid sitting under a tree eating a candy cane. Okay, I'm Canadian. I went with candy cane. Change comes from people that are pissed off, who want something to be different. They create Mothers Against Drunk Driving. No happy mother ever went out there and protested. The world has not become better because of happy people. It's come better because people see an opportunity for more happiness for a greater number of people, and they see something that needs to shift. So being unhappy at work is actually fantastic. Let's change the system. Stop.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a nuclear power in hope. Because a huge artist or a huge leader can provide such an amazing picture of how life should be that deeply connects to people's wish for a proper life. So that's what starts revolutions.
Yes. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Fantastic.
Well, that was a thesis in theology, so good wording.
Whatever they say.
And I will also tell you, I once watched a documentary about people who went into a monastery for 1 month or 2 months in England. They were not at all religious. But after a month in silence and thinking deep about themselves, they have nothing else to do but thinking. And they also have conversations with a spiritual leader, whatever. At least one of them, many of them changed their lives afterwards. No one forced them. One guy, when he came in, he was a programmer for a porn business.
Oh, God. Ooh.
And after leaving the monastery, within a few weeks, he realized
he became a porn star.
No, he stopped. He changed his job. He remained being a programmer, but he stopped working for porn industry because he realized, as you said, it didn't make him happy. Happiness is a deep thing.
My boyfriend, he worked for 23 years as a manager of a casino. And, he made great money. He was kind of the boss. Things are great. And it was eating his soul away to be in that dark energy with the corruption and the darkness. And he gave it up. He took his kind of little cash there, and he started a business as a barber shop and a tattoo salon because he loves tattoos. And then COVID hit, and he got very, very poor. And we got very, very poor. And yet, through these 3 years that we've been together, living together, I'm in his tattoo studio right now in Barcelona, he remained happy because he was not making money, not impressing his girlfriend, not having any kind of social status in the world, nothing that people think is happiness. But inside of him, he knew he wanted to be his own boss and not contribute to that anymore. So he was happy in poverty. He was happy in exhaustion, working 17 hours a day. So for me, I've seen it live. I've seen a man sacrifice every comfort in the world for his deepest value and be happier than me on an average day. Like, he's amazing, you know? So
Maybe I should bring him onto the show and talk about happiness.
he's like my life coach. He's incredible, a beautiful, beautiful man, because he lives his values. Whereas I get distracted a little bit by like fame and maybe the fortune and maybe, oh, who's going to see this? You know, the ego of a professional speaker. I always have to control that. And you know, the values. Why am I in this job? Because I want to see people laugh. If I can get back to that again, then I'm happy again, despite the worldly success gives me or doesn't give me, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, Jessica, our time is running out.
Yes.
Do you have any last words that you want to share?
I have spoken a lot. I'm glad that you think this is an important topic, and I'm pleased that hope was done in a thesis. And thank you for your contributions, making the world a happier place.
And thank you. I know that you're holding a workshop tonight.
I am.
And the Women's Voice workshop.
Yeah. We'll be doing improv, speaking
that's fun.
from the intuition, speaking without fear and dealing with the consequences, and then doing it again, so that women get heard and they don't live contrary to their values. They stand up for their values and they can find happiness because they set their needs and their boundaries. Beautiful.
Boom. Yes, thank you so much, Jessica. I hope we will meet up in Barcelona perhaps in a few weeks. Maybe we can do some improv then.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yes, so thank you so much for coming, and I hope we meet soon. Now it's time for an important message. It's a story time. An important message for you all, I hope. So, once upon a time, one of my clients came to me and said, I'm not happy at work at all. I'm crying, I'm sometimes very angry, and I should be more positive. What can I do to like my job, to behave professionally? Well, during the conversation with her, I learned that the problem was that she did not feel appreciated by her boss. Actually, she was kind of bullied. And then she was shamed for feeling sad, for being angry. She constantly was told that she should be more positive and happy. And if you are not feeling happy at work at all, if you are in a similar situation, I need you to listen up. What I will tell you is what I tell her is now what I will tell you. The feelings you have are real. Respect them. You shouldn't have to keep up with this situation at work. You are not the problem. Even so, you have the key to the solution. Find help to sort things out. If you need to, leave. You are more important than the boss or the organization you serve. Find a place where you are supported, inspired, appreciated, and happy while you are at work. Thank you all for today. See you in 2 weeks. And then we will have a new inspiring guest and we will talk about passion.